today's video, I'm going to break down the Bitcoin chart and I'm going to give you my outlook for crypto and Bitcoin for the rest of 2025. And I'm going to answer the question everyone is asking right now, is this cycle different? Well, let's break down the charts and let's get into it. Now, first of all, I just want to mention that if you watched my last video, you would know that we actually called the bottom here of Bitcoin perfectly and we entered into a long, and right now that trade is playing out. Now, how did we know to long from this area? Well, we had some key levels of support and resistance. This level was our Fibonacci golden pocket, when in an uptrend it's the level Bitcoin likes to come down to and retest before putting in a new all-time high as well. And it was also a significant level of volume. When we pull out volume profile, we can see that it actually was the value area low of this range. And typically when it's at the bottom of the value area, it is considered oversold. And typically it will make its way back up to the high of the range, which is where it is considered overvalued. Because you have to understand, Bitcoin likes to trade within sideways ranges, and it likes to bounce from the highs to the lows until you eventually get a breakout of that range. And what we saw as well was a very key level of support and resistance. We had our key level here, which was our previous highs basically from back here in May. And once we got a breakout of that level, we came and retested it into support, filling that volume gap so that now we can put in a higher high. And as well as some other reasons, such as a bullish divergence printing on the 4-hour chart as we got to this lows. This is how we were able to perfectly call the bottom, and the people who are following my channel and following these trades are making a lot of money. So make sure to subscribe, because I'm giving these trades to you guys for free, and all you have to do is copy what I'm doing and you're going to make a lot of money. Now, when I look at the chart of Bitcoin, it is an extremely bullish chart. But what I want to do first is I actually want to zoom out on a weekly time frame, because we're following a key trend line since the bottom of 2022. We've essentially been in this uptrend where every single time we come down to this trend line here, we actually get a significant bounce. And as long as we can maintain this upwards trend, I'm going to expect higher prices for Bitcoin. But the moment we do actually fall below this trend line here is the moment when I'm going to be calling for the bear market. I'm not a perma bull, I'm a trader, and we're going to make money whether the price is going up or whether the price is going down. Now, I want to look at the total market cap chart. This is the total market cap of all of crypto. And the reason why I'm looking at this chart is because this chart has been a lot more accurate for calling tops of the market, because when we look at our first cycle and we measure it out, we can see that exactly 546 days after the Bitcoin halving, the market topped out. And looking at the previous cycle before that as well, we can see that exactly 546 days after the halving, the market topped out again. So if history was to repeat itself, then we could expect the exact same thing to happen again. So we would be looking for the crypto market to top 546 days after the halving, which is actually here in October. Now, there's not a lot of time left, and what I'm expecting the crypto market to actually reach is the top of this trend line here, around 11 to 12 trillion dollars. And one of the reasons I'm expecting that is when we pull a Fibonacci extension, it actually gives us confluence. It has the full Fibonacci extension level at around that level there. So that is what I'm pretty much looking for the top of the crypto market to be. But the question is, with the top expected on the 20th October, are we going to reach it, or are we going to see what's called a right translated cycle? Now, a right translated cycle is where the cycle will actually top after the expected date. So if we were to see a right translated cycle, it would mean that we would be rally past the top and then potentially see our bear market back down. Now, this scenario here, I think, is the more likely scenario that we are going to see that right translated cycle. And I think that's due to the macro events in the economy. because last bull run we saw rate cuts really early, basically at zero, which is why we pumped so hard. But this cycle we've had high interest rates, and we're only just starting to get some rate cuts in a couple weeks from now. And as well, the crypto market cap is just so much larger than it was in 2020, so it takes a lot more money to really be able to move a price. And when you need more money, it takes more time for it to be able to make the same moves. And we look at a lot of chart patterns like XRP and other coins. A lot of these coins are actually repeating the exact same patterns, but they're just taking a longer period of time to play out, which is actually why I'm expecting the same to happen with the crypto market cap, where I think we're going to get that same move, but it's just going to take a bit longer, which is why I believe that we may see a right translated cycle, that where maybe we don't top till December or February, and then we get our bear market back then. Because from where we are today, if we measure this out, we only have about 42 days. That's not a lot of time. And I'm a big believer in the 4-year cycle, but I just don't see us being able to reach these highs in that short amount of time. And a good trader and a good investor is able to adjust his hypothesis as new information is added. Now, originally I was expecting a top around October 20th, but with where we are right now, I just don't see that happening, which is why I expect this cycle to actually continue on into 2026. And there's going to be a lot of indicators, but I'm going to be looking at to call the top. And one of the indicators I'm going to be looking at is the Bitcoin dominance. Now, for those of you who have been following the channel, you would know that we actually called the exact top of the Bitcoin dominance back here in June. And we were able to do this because we were printing bearish divergences on our RSI, and that's how we nailed the top. And that's one of the things about this channel is we've nailed the price action for Bitcoin and the crypto market more than any other channel. We've constantly been right, and I'm expecting that trend to continue into 2026. Now, for me, my target for the Bitcoin dominance is going to be around 39 to 40%. So until we really start to see a big drop in this Bitcoin dominance, I'm going to expect the market cycle to continue, because typically the tops of market cycles is when you see peak euphoria, when retail is rushing in and everyone's excited about crypto, and this is what causes the massive surge in prices. It's like pouring gasoline on a fire, but we haven't seen that yet. Consumer sentiment has been at all-time lows. Interest in crypto has been in all-time lows, and this is typically not what you see at a market top. And until we start seeing that euphoria, I do not believe that we are at a top. And until we start seeing some of these technical indicators fire off, it's very unlikely that we are going to top in the next 40 days, which is why I do believe that we are going to see that extended cycle. Now, let's take a look at the total for each chart. Now, this chart is extremely bullish. Now, I'm just going to get rid of these lines for a second, but what we can see is on the total free, we're actually printing an ascending triangle pattern, where the price action is getting higher and we have an upwards level of resistance here. Now, typically this is a bullish pattern that is going to be expected to break to the upside, and patterns like these have been extremely accurate. Now, what we can actually do to get some price targets is we can measure from the high to the low, and this gives us our technical breakout target. So this puts us around that $5 trillion mark. Now, if we pull a Fibonacci extension, we measure that out, we can see that a full Fibonacci puts us around about 4 trillion. So I'd be expecting for us to probably top on the total market cap somewhere around this level. Now, this isn't always going to be perfectly accurate, but it's normally a good rough estimate of where we could be, and lining up around that full Fibonacci extension, I would say that's a likely target for the crypto total free, which is excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, this is extremely bullish because when we see the breakout of this ascending triangle pattern as it gets to the apex, prices of your altcoins are going to absolutely explode, and this is going to coincide with the drop in the Bitcoin dominance. Now, we're literally right at that point of time where we're literally banging our head on the door waiting to break out. Now, we could see this just go vertical, and if within the next 41 days we see prices just absolutely explode like this, and we do see us reach some of these higher levels, then that could potentially be the top. But if we don't see a big move in the altcoins, then I would expect this cycle to be an extended cycle based on the macro environment. Because one thing as well, the Bitcoin cycles have always correlated with the macro business cycles. Now, the macro business cycle is about 4 to 5 years. Now, this business cycle has actually taken a bit longer, and that would actually explain the reason for Bitcoin lagging and for altcoins lagging, is because there is a macro environment for risk on assets. But as we see rate cuts, the environment for risk on assets becomes a lot more bullish, and you can expect a lot more money to rotate into these riskier altcoins. Now, if you guys want to know the exact coins that I'm invested in, you can purchase them. Just click on the link in the description. And if you'd like to book a coaching call with me to sit down with me one-on-one to take a look at your portfolio or just give you some advice, just send me a message on social media or send me an email. And as well, guys, I've also just dropped my free beginner's guide to crypto and investing. It's completely free. All you need to do is pop in your email and you'll get that PDF guide. There's a lot of value in there. So if you are a beginner and you are just learning, this is a great resource to get started. But besides that, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.
Bitcoin, please go to moon. Stop going sideways now. Don't ever say we going down to 1K, but Mr. Novogratz say we have bottomed out. Bottomed out, Novogratz is bullish. Bottomed out, don't ever rise is deadish.
Barrett calls it a 13 trade.
Novogratz is bullish.
Bitcoin could be at 40,000.
Let us go to moon.